The village of Madanpur thrived on words, words of wisdom, words of trust, and words that held power. Under the great banyan tree, Elder Kumar and the council of wise men shared stories of honesty and virtue. But Rajiv Sharma? He did not sit there to learn. He sat there to listen, to study, to manipulate. His mind did not absorb wisdom, it calculated opportunity. He knew one thing for certain: words alone could build an empire. And today, he would put them to use. The market of Madanpur was a place of exchange, gold for grain, labor for goods. But Rajiv? He traded only in words. Approaching vendor Ramesh, he spoke with ease. "Uncle, I always bring you customers, don't I? Give me these mangoes today, and tomorrow I'll bring you double the business." The old man hesitated, his wrinkled fingers tightening around the basket. But Rajiv's smile was disarming, his voice honeyed with charm. Finally, the vendor sighed and nodded. Rajiv took the mangoes, walking away with a victorious grin. But he never intended to return. Another promise made, another debt unpaid. Tonight, Rajiv did not just speak, he performed. His voice rang across the festival ground. "I pledge 100 gold coins to our temple." Gasps rippled through the crowd. The villagers clapped. The priest blessed him. He stood tall, basking in their admiration. But in his pockets, there was no gold. He knew the truth. Words were his wealth, and he had just made himself the richest man in Madanpur. The next morning, a royal horseman arrives at the village square. The villagers gather, whispering as he unrolls a scroll sealed with gold. His voice is loud and unwavering. By order of His Majesty, King Arjun of Aryavat, a wise man is required to serve as the royal advisor to the throne. Rajiv stepped forward, his voice as steady as ever. "Your Majesty will find no one wiser than me." The villagers gasped. A king could not be fooled so easily, could he? The king's eyes were sharp, his presence commanding. He did not smile. He did not frown. He only watched. And then he spoke. A wise man does not speak to impress. He speaks to reveal truth. "Tell me, Rajiv, what is truth?" The court fell silent. Rajiv had always answered with ease. But this was different. He took a slow breath, then smirked. "Truth, my king, is nothing but the story we choose to believe." The ministers murmured. The king? He remained silent. But in that moment, for the first time, Rajiv felt something foreign: doubt. Rajiv had played his cards well. From the dirt roads of Madanpur to the golden halls of Aryavat, his journey had been paved with words, not deeds. But as he settled into his new life, he noticed something unsettling. The king watched him too closely. The nobles smiled at him, but only with their lips, never their eyes. He had risen high, but the higher one climbs, the further they can fall. And Rajiv? He was standing on the edge of a cliff. The king had tested Rajiv with words, but now he would test him with action. His deep voice echoed through the chamber. "Rajiv Sharma, you have spoken wisely. But now, I give you a task. Take this chest to my ally in the neighboring kingdom. Deliver it to him in my name. Return with proof of your honesty." The court remained silent. Rajiv felt his breath catch. As the guards placed the heavy chest before him, his fingers trembled. Would he finally prove his worth? Or would this be the moment his lies unraveled? The journey was long, but for the first time, Rajiv's thoughts were longer. He had always spoken of power, of wisdom, of greatness. But as he passed villages where children drank from cracked clay pots, where mothers clutched their infants with sunken eyes, he wondered, had he ever given anything? The golden chest beside him felt heavier than before. It was not just gold, it was his own soul being weighed. And for the first time, he was unsure which was heavier. He had two choices: return to the king, prove his loyalty, and keep the lie alive. Or do what he had never done before, give. His fingers trembled as he untied the chest. The villagers watched with wide, disbelieving eyes as he threw open the lid. Gold coins, gleaming like the sun, spilled onto the dirt ground. The silence broke. A child gasped. A woman fell to her knees in shock. And Rajiv, for the first time in his life, he did not feel like a deceiver. He felt real happiness. Rajiv had walked these halls in triumph before. Today, he walked in doubt. As he kneeled before the king, the court's whispers grew louder. Where's the gold? The king's voice cut through the air, calm but heavy. Rajiv did not flinch. Your Majesty, I have given it away. Gasps rippled through the chamber. The ministers exchanged glances. The nobles murmured. The king? He did not blink. Silence hung in the air. Had he passed the test, or had he just sealed his fate? Rajiv had spent a lifetime playing with words, but now his fate rested in silence. The king circled him, his footsteps echoing in the great hall. Then he spoke. Did it feel good, Rajiv? The question was unexpected. Rajiv hesitated, then nodded. More than I ever imagined. The king let out a quiet chuckle. Then you have learned what most men never do. A man is not known by his wealth, nor by his words, but by the actions that follow them. The tension shattered. Rajiv's shoulders loosened. He had not lost. He had won something greater than gold. He had won himself. The years had passed. Rajiv was no longer the man he had been. He had built his life on words, but now his words carried meaning. He looked at the young prince beside him. Do you know the most powerful thing a man owns? The boy frowned, thinking. Rajiv smiled. His words, but only if they are spoken with truth. The boy nodded, understanding. The sun dipped below the horizon, and as Rajiv gazed out over the kingdom, he knew his greatest story had just begun.
Hey everyone, welcome to Fun Time with Samay. If you love exciting, fun, and insightful content, you're in the right place. But wait, before we dive in, make sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss out. Your support keeps me going and helps me create amazing content.